Hello there everyone. Alex here with Lucksack Games. We're about to run a modern league with Bonecrusher Zoo. So the other night I was running late with the stream and Marin Moon, who's another content producer, popped into the stream and hung out for a little while and we had a great time. And at the end of the stream she asked if I would play this deck. So I had already seen it on her YouTube, which you should absolutely check out if you haven't already. And let me tell you, I thought we should give it a run through. So I'm running the exact same 75 that she has on her YouTube. So if you like this content, you should see for a double up. You should go check it out. All right, so our first opponent is ACG88. And opening hand. I mean, this looks like the hands we're signing up to keep when we play this deck. We're going to play Kitty Cat out on 1, and then we're going to play a Voice of Resurgence on 2. If we need to kill something, we'll Helix it instead. Looks like we're against Burn. Or Valakut, maybe? Shock Go is a little bit weird. We could also be against Jund. If we're against Jund, they're hoping to get their Bolt in for value. That being said, if they bolt our Kitty Cat, I think that's still a net positive for us. So let's go ahead and send in the Kitty. I'm predicting a Bolt though. Yeah. Ooh, Haggle. Okay, so this is the instant speed discard, so maybe they're on Dredge. Life from the Loam. Definitely putting them on Dredge. So I don't think Dredge is a excellent matchup for the Fair Creature deck, but let's see what we can do. There's a Creeping Chill, which is going to Lightning Helix us for free. So we're definitely looking forward to the sideboard in this matchup. So waiting for our opponent to put their triggered abilities on the stack. Not exactly the matchup you're hoping to find when you're the Fair Creature aggro deck. Death and Taxes is good. Other creature decks to interact with, or big mana decks? I guess it's kind of creature deck to interact with, isn't it? Alright, let's see if they also have Cathartic Reach. Nope. Just Life from the Loam. Alright. We're going to draw here. Path to Exile is not miserable here. So, it's ironic how painful this has to be, though, because we have to fetch Shock a red source. So I don't think we Bonecrusher Giant to remove a blocker. Even if they block with Narcomoeba, that's fine. So I don't think we need more white. I think we need more green. Is that accurate? I don't know if that's accurate with Path to Exile in our hand. Yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and grab Sacred Foundry. I don't know if that's correct. I do not play Zoo very often. So I don't know if it's correct to do this pre-combat. But they can't trade. They can only chump if they choose. So what we're hoping to do is draw maybe another land so that we can... If we draw another land, do we just cast the Bonecrusher Giant is the question. Or do we instead... If we just cast the Bonecrusher Giant, that could work too. Or we can just try and use its shock mode and then cast the Bonecrusher, assuming we don't hit our 4th land for these Blood Braids. Another Creeping Chill. So we're now below 10, which means Bloodghast have haste. And our opponent has a Conflagrate as well. with 6 cards in hand, I think this is a correct move. Even though they will play a land post-combat, our Voice of Resurgence doesn't actually get smaller. It just becomes a 2/2. Yeah. Oh, they did have Cathartic Reunion. Oh. Or is this just Conflagus for 6? Excuse me. This might just be Conflagus for 6. If they have another Conflagrate in hand, that makes a lot of sense. Ah, instead they killed our board. That makes a ton of sense. Alright, so our turn. Draw. We hit the lands, so we get to do 2 things. Bonecrusher does block Bloodghast pretty well. Problem is our opponent has all these creeping chills still happening, so and Stinkweed Absurdity in the grave. So let's go ahead and fetch here. Just a little bit of a risky proposition. Grab a mountain. I think I'm down on a line of just cast Bonecrusher Giant. And take 4 here. That does put us dead to a creeping. Let's hope to dodge that. So if we do dodge that, Blood-Rabbit Elf might hit us into something else that will keep us going. I'm picking up lands here. Since they picked up lands, this Bloodghast is guaranteed to come back, and I would prefer not to die for Creeping Chill if possible. No, I think I'm still fine with this. It's almost unfair how many Lightning Helixes they get. Like, I get Lightning Helixes too, but I'm paying a legitimate 3 mana for mine. Dead to Bolt, but the opponent's not playing that card. Alright, cast Faithless Looting Jr. Ooh, dredging over another prized amalgam. That's not ideal for us. So let's draw. I am glad I have that extra white source now because I want a Helix plus Path to Exile. So alright, let's go ahead and Helix. This, I guess. We also have to put our opponent on some amount of a clock. A win condition cannot be just milling them out. Yeah, so I mean, I guess we get in for 4 here. Yeah, because we're just dead to Creeping Chills coming in off the top. This feels like it might be a bad attack, but I don't think we have any option. So the opponent correctly just going to, oh. Yeah, just going to combat because they already have lethal in play. Go ahead and put the thing into exile. Take nearly lethal damage. We're now at 1, or 3. So we die to Life in the Loam plus Cathartic Reunion. Or not Cathartic Reunion, Conflagrate. Life and Loam. No Conflagrate in the bin yet, though. Uh-oh. Either casting the Merchant of the Veil. They're casting Stinkweed Imp. Sure. That is a 1/2 flyer. Alright, thankfully I'm pretty sure we have a basic to go fetch with this. So we're now dead to their flyers, so we now have to hit a Lightning Helix off of this wheel. Let's go. What's every good comeback story start with? And then I cast Bloodbraid Elf. So yes, we may have been behind this whole game. The good old Bloodbraid Elf has our back. It's going to find Lightning Helix for us in this game 1 versus Dredge. Technically, any removal spell buys us at least a turn, assuming that they don't. Kitty Cat does not. Kitty Cat does not. Alright, let's begin sideboarding. So, we have these Rest in Pieces and this Warship. Galactique stops Conflagrate, which I don't know how. It seems good for protecting our board. Galactique plus Warship seems like a pretty good combo, for example. I don't think they have any enchantments, so I'm going to go ahead and cut these Pride Mages. Let's see. Anything else? I think that should do it. One more cut to make. I like having access to these Path to Exiles, these Bonecrusher Giants. I guess I could have tried to Bonecrusher Giant, kill a Narcomoeba instead, but I just don't feel we're winning that game. Bonecrusher Giant is pretty big. Let's go ahead and cut it anyways. I think we can get... Prize Amalgam's our biggest problem, obviously. Ideally, we have an opening hand with a Rest in Peace, and we're able to play a slightly more fair game of Magic, in which we'd be favored. So, hey everyone out there watching, I hope you're enjoying this Bonecrusher Zoo deck. If you like seeing good modern decks, I play any kind of deck on my stream, as long as you request that I play it. So, if you want to see, okay, I played an absolutely really janky deck called Leylines in Legacy, which tries to win on the first turn of the game. And this, I think, is better than Leylines, for the record. Leylines definitely has the win for fun value. Let's see what we got here. A 2-lander that I have... Alright, this is fun. It's fine, but it's not amazing. I feel like we're supposed to mulligan this. This is a little bit better. So we'll keep this. I think we actually bottom the Forest here. This Forest Lightning Helix is not exactly a combo. Keep bottom. It kind of is with Noble Hierarch, but I think we can just do this. And pass turn. So next turn is probably cast Galactique, fetch a tap land. Long pause. Alright, it did keep their hand, so we do know that they've joined the game. Let's see here. Alright, looks like they have that Merchant of the Veil again. I think that was an above average draw. Above average. So I can be punished heavily by not committing this. I'm going to go ahead and cast the Galactique because it also gets around Force of Vigor. Because they can't cast Force of Vigor with it in their hand. And I think one turn is fine. Famous last words, right? 1 turn is fine. So I'm not dealing them a point here to save myself 3. Or 2, rather. Yep, haggle. The discard Stinkweed and Dredge. She'll end Narcomoeba if there's a prized amalgam in there. Well, there's Bloodghast. I definitely gave myself a little bit to contend with by putting this Galactique into play. But hopefully I cut them off of their answers for our board and our Rest in Peace. Because I know a lot of Dredge lists, that I've seen anyways, are playing Force of Vigors. At least I don't have another Merchant of the Veil or a Cathartic Reunion opponent. Looks like one of those two things. Opponent's paying costs. Yep. There's Prize Amalgam. And a Nature's Claim. Oh, unfortunate. So they are on claims. We are down to 12. So, turn off audience. Yield until the next end step. So, but with Creeping Chill clocking us pretty quickly. Down to 11, down to 10 after this fetch. And if we draw a land, we're probably looking to Rest in Peace plus Helix. Let's Sacred Foundry, no shock. Untap, upkeep, draw. Bolt there was a very good draw because while we don't get to Helix plus, now we do get to go Bolt this. Cast Rest in Peace. And attack in for 3. So we do have this Helix to answer this Narcomoeba, which is good. Or a Prized Amalgam they put in play. If we answer a Prized Amalgam, we're winning this race. But it could also just have the Nature's Claim, of course, and can just get going again. Looks like a hard cast threat, though. It is. It's a Stinkweed Imp. We can bolt that one out of the sky, luckily. Draw. Ooh, another Noble Hierarch is also decent there because that means that we cast Bloodbraid next turn, but we still get to Helix this turn. Oh, I need that one for the red. Red, white. Remove that from the board, and we'll get in for 4. I am aware that this thing has pseudo Death Touch, so we definitely don't want to attack into it, even though we're a way bigger creature. Alright, that'll do it for this turn. And we're going to yield through our opponent's turn as well, because we are tapped out with nothing to do. So this is looking like a game where we may have turned the corner, though. Especially now that we're back up to 12, we don't have to worry about Creeping Chills anymore. We get to cast this Bloodbraid next turn. Oh, looks like the opponent's casting a Cathartic Reunion. That does draw them a lot of cards, so let's see what they discarded into exile. Life in the Loam and Merchant. Another land. Another swing. And it's our turn. Is there any reason I want to shock this in before I cast this? I don't think so. But I definitely want to cast this pre-combat. See what we got here. Cascade into... Cascade into... A little unfortunate that they're on Nature's Claims instead of Force of Vigors, because then this Galactique would be doing a lot more work. Cascade into... Voice Resurgence. Alright, Voice Resurgence isn't small. I mean, it's small now, but it can get much bigger. Yes, it's the Voice of Resurgence Rest in Peace combo deck opponent. Yes, the Voice of Resurgence can't die, and no, we won't get a token. It's still a 2-2. It still attacks you dead. I guess Qasali Pride Mage is better than that, though, because it gives Exalted. So I'll remember that for the next game and swap them out. Let's bash in there for 5 this turn. It's better to attack with both rather than just Galactique, because this has 3 power. If it had 2 power, it would be irrelevant either way. But we do, or we could just attack with Bloodbraid, and that's the same damage as attacking with Galactique. I guess that's the line. Opponent waiting on a spell to resolve. Alright, let's go to the beginning of combat. And get in for 5. Put our opponent to 9 and pass the turn. We have no spells in our deck that we can draw that cost more than 4. So we're going to pass the turn here. Ooh. Keep dipping out of the stream. Alright, so opponent's at 8. Still getting in with that Narcomoeba, though. Maybe they're holding 3 bolts in their hand, and they're like, come on, just one more attack. That fetch is good for us, because that puts them to dead on board. Looks like they're casting something now. They just overtapped. Alright, looks like Cathartic Reunion again. It's going Life and Loam and a Narcomoeba. And there's an Amalgam. Alright, that's pretty good because that's a good blocker. Unfortunately, we do another land. So, I think what we do here is, since the opponent only has 4 cards in hand, if we attack with any creature by itself, they have to trade off with a prized Amalgam. So might as well attack with the biggest one. Or the other option is we attack with everything and they take 4 and go to 3. No, they'll go to 2. We'll block one of our 2 power ones, and then we have lethal on board. I like that better. Way better. So, opponent, you want to go to 2. When we've shown you we have Bonecrusher Giants in our deck. So we ran over the couple lines and why we chose the one we did. We unfortunately don't have the Bonecrusher Giant, but our opponent doesn't know. Any single attack here? Okay, they are going to try and trade off with Galactique. Oh, they go to 2. They are literally dead if we ever draw a burn spell. Good news, opponent. You got a turn. I mean, not exactly bad news for us, but hey. Opponent's getting in there? That's wild. Yeah, we'll go to 6. Or 7, sorry. 6 when we fetch. Alright. I mean, we died a bolt. I don't think our opponent runs actual bolt in their deck, but Creeping Chills is pretty good too. And tap up, keep draw. This is why we took the attack line with all, because now we can attack with both these and have our opponent dead. Oh no, because they creeping chilled us. Gaining 3 life was relevant. Alright. Take 2, opponent. Post-combat, we'll play a Noble Hierarch. And then pass through the turn. Show if you can for Creeping Chills. We actually were turning those off with our Galactique. So if the opponent has another one, we die. And deserve to die, for the record. We had them turned off. So next turn we attack with both, because if they don't block the Bloodbraid, they die. Yeah. We're going to put them to 1, so they won't be able to fetch. Okay, we're going to put them to 0 instead. They have a Lightning Axe. It's a pretty good play for them to wait, but we get to make an Elemental now. So it's a 6/6, but they get another draw step at a Creeping Chill, which seems very reasonable. So second main. Let's see, there's nothing that deals 1 damage, I'm pretty sure, in their deck, so let's go ahead and play a Sex Drinker. Go ahead and level him up. Level him up. Level him up. Level him up. So he's now level 4, and at level 8, he has protection from everything. Alright, opponent, our cards are on the table. What do you have? You have another Creeping Chill, we die. That was a Cycled Forgotten Caves. Alright, 3 cards in hand, opponent. Did you draw it? Did you draw a Creeping Chill? Nope. Okay. So opponent very nearly got there still, which just shows how bad of a matchup this really is for us. We said we'd do this, but then this made a 6/6. So, They literally don't have any enchantments. I'm going to do a 2-2 split. They literally have no enchantments for that to blow up, but at the same time, I don't think the residual damage with Cinder Vines is going to get us there. Alright, let's go. Unfortunately, we basically have to hope for one of our Rest in Pieces. Opening hand? Maybe. Maybe opening hand? We're going to take 1 hit. I'm going to go ahead and take 1 more since this only has 1 land in it. I like that it has Teague. I'm going to keep this 5. Put back Path to Exile. And a Helix. Cancel. Path to Exile and a Bloodbraid Elf. I'm not that ambitious, I guess. So we do have to draw 2 lands. If we draw 1 land as our first land, Noble Hierarch can represent our second land. So I'm going to fetch Shock here. I grabbed the wrong land, though. Should have grabbed Stomping Ground. See if they have Lava Axe for our guy. Doesn't look like it. Looks like a turn 2 Cathartic Reunion, which is still pretty good for their deck. My favorite starts out of Dredge are when they cast Bloodghast on 2. Those are my favorite starts out of Dredge. Alright, they have 2 Dredgers, so they're unlikely to whiff. And looks like they're getting, we have to answer a Prized Amalgam and a Narcomoeba. Alright, let's hope to draw a red source. Not quite lucky. Let's go ahead and play this Rest in Peace, though. If I had fetched correctly for red source, we'd still be playing Rest in Peace this turn. But definitely should have grabbed a red source. If we ever draw one, we're in a pretty good position. Yep. Let's draw a red source, shall we? Red source, Voice of Resurgence. Feeling worse than Gaddock Teague. So, let's hope to hit another land. Good news is, I think if we hit any other land, we should be able to wrap up this game pretty quickly. Double Helix looks real good. So, take 5 this turn, go to 8. Not ideal. Dead in 2 swings. They can't cast Creeping Chills anymore, which is good. Casting Haggle. Discarding Life in the Loam. Alright, Fetch Shock's down to 11. And cast the Merchant. Alright, our turn. Land. I hate having basic forest in this deck so much. Alright, I'm not going to concede the game yet. And I can't double block with Gaddock Teague, so I might as well get in there with him. Alright. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do have to block with this Voice of Resurgence if I still want to have Fetch Shock up, which I do. If we're going to chump, we're not going to chump 2 power, we're going to chump 3. We're going to go to 4, so we have Fetch Shock available. We really don't, by the way. We basically just have it. If we had fetched correctly, this game was in the bag. So, sorry. I punted. Bad. I was just so excited we drew the land. Our opponent discarded 2 more life in the loams. Plays a Gemstone Mine. Oh no, not another threat. Each threat they play makes it much harder for us to win. We now need a land that gets a basic. Yeah. Had this game in the bag if I fetched correctly. Sorry, guys. No. Yep, a no land 5, almost got there. Just fetched the wrong land. If I got Stomping Ground, we cast every spell in our hand. Starting with Lightning Helix on Amalgam. Alright, well, we did the best I could. Let's see what we can do for match 2, what we're against. Hoping to dodge Dredge. See if we can find something where our creatures can swing on through. We have some very, very happy creatures that want to come say hi. Alright, we're against Zachary, 1, 2, 4. And this looks like a keeper. So this looks like a Fetch Shock Noble Hierarch. And then I might just cast Hex Drinker and Lightning Helix, depending on what the opponent's on. Looks like the Urza deck. Whenever I see Prismatic Vista, I now assume it's the Urza deck. I'm not sure with this thing, though. But we'll see. So we're going to fetch Shock and play a Noble Hierarch. I'm going to grab Stomping Ground since Noble Hierarch produces white and I have another fetch land. I learned my lesson from last match. Okay, so the opponent might also be like fairies, I guess. That'd be interesting. Looks like they are fairies. Alright, well we can't block that anyway, so I'm not sure why we're given an option. Ooh, ninjutsu. Alright. Alright, I can dig that. Alright, so we can Helix that and play a Hex Drinker. Seems like a good line to me. So Helix that. Play Hex Drinker. Pass the turn. That was a little scary. Looks like our Hex Drinker's about to get... Oh no, we're going to get Thought Seized. Alright, opponent. You can take any card in your hand not named Bloodbraid Elf. If it's named Bloodbraid Elf, that one's off limits. Taking out my hands. Alright, they took Bonecrusher. You know who's ready? Bonecrusher's ready. Fetch. Seems good. See if this is a push on our guy. With Thoughtseize too. Alright. They're fine with us pathing their dude. They're not fine with us doing other stuff too. This reminds me a lot of my Legacy deck. And because it reminds me a lot of my Legacy deck, I just want to path this now. So, my Legacy deck... I just want to level up Hex Drinker. I can't get to protection from instants, right? Yeah, so let's just level it up once this turn. Get him 2 and pass the turn. Or 3. And what it's based around is putting a Curiosity on a small dude. What they look to be is kind of a similar deck. They have to kill this Hex Drinker eventually, but they could wait for us to pump more into it. Yeah, nah. They're just gonna get that thing off the board now, which seems like a good call to me. Alright, Helixer's not the best draw, but also not the worst. Go and get another Exalted creature out there. And get in there for 5. Come in for half your life total, opponent. Uh-oh. Opponent has interaction. Not interaction. Not interaction. Oh, Brazen Borrower. Okay. Nice. Once again, opponent showing that they are fairies. And Assassin's Trophy. Oof. For that one, we're very sad we tapped both our white sources, is why I'm saying oof. Because otherwise we'd be able to Helix this thing when it came down. So opponent passes the turn. Thing has flash, so there's no reason for them not to cast it. Play Kitty Cat. And I guess we still get in there for 1. We are still the aggro deck after all, and we still have Helix set. We just don't get to play around Mono Leak, but we didn't get to do that as soon as we played the Kitty Cat. Pushing our Kitty Cat, yep. Alright, you push our Kitty Cat. We're going to turn off auto yields and make sure to kill their fairy as well. Alright, their turn. They're drawing off the top, we're drawing off the top, but we get to... We have burn spells to draw to, we have... I'm going to grab Sacred Foundry, no. We have Bloodbraid Elves to draw to. We have Voice of Resurgences to draw to. Alright, let's get in there for 1. If the opponent has anything to say about that. Doesn't look like it. Looks like they might be F6ing, which would be ideal for us. They are. Sweet. It looks like they just drew a land there, and we're trying to bluff. See what they cast here. Death Touch Cat. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. Sweet. Bolt is great here because it allows our Voice of Resurgence to get through, which is also 3 damage. That's why Baleful Strix is so powerful in Legacy, is it's a removal spell that cantrips. So this Ice Fang Coatl also serving a similar purpose in Modern, as a removal spell that cantrips. Uh-oh. Oh, they just played the ninja? Alright, that's fine. Any creature off the top. We still get to attack in without a creature, right? Because of Exalted. Double Exalted. Alright, let's see if they block this. I don't think this thing's unblockable. It is not. So they're likely blocking this since it's lethal. Alright. Next turn we get to get in with Qasali Pridemage and Elemental and spread the 5 damage over 2 bodies. Wood Foothills obviously not being the best draw here. Get in with both these. I have Snap Push. Ah, okay. That's fine. So they bounced our token. This thing can't block our guy. He can only block creatures with flying. So we're going to go ahead and yield through this turn. So they still have to draw a removal spell off the top or they still take lethal. Let's hope they don't draw a removal spell off the top. No, opponent, that's a removal spell off the top. Let's hope we do draw a removal spell off the top. Opponent's top of the deck being fire. Oh, no way. They drew another ninja? It's so bad for us. No, we don't have any blocks, opponent. Now you can ninjutsu. Does combat damage to a player? I didn't realize. Make a copy. Oh, nice. Bolt. Half. Alright. I feel like we need to just kind of keep this game under control. And unfortunately, it's spiraling out of that. To attack here, they trade off with Coatl. I don't think I'm fine with that. Again, with just Noble Hierarch, they only take 1. They're probably fine with that. Alright. I am good with this because I'm getting him for 2. See if they want to trade off. So we got to use Noble Hierarch as a removal spell there, which feels pretty good. What this is, Oko. Okay, Oko's fine. I mean, they're drawing literally fire. Food token is insane because it allows them literally to gain 3 life. So let's see here. Just attacking with that. I mean, we're gonna block here. They're probably fine with this just being a trade. Yep. Bloodbraid Elf has haste. It can bounce my Pride Mage anyways. Yeah. I'm going to yield to the next step. This is fine, but not ideal. Could have also tapped them down. Yeah, I probably should have gone for the path there to try and tap them down. Fetch. So the bad news is about this Oko is it makes more food. So we basically have to draw it off the top here. And spell off the top. Alright, Oko's gonna run away with this game. I'll still draw to a Bloodbraid Elf, but Oko's gonna run away with this game. I had auto yields on too, so we absolutely would have been able to bolt them. Yeah, they're up to, they have 6 life in the bank now. And they're gonna cash some of it in. Yep. This is fine. This is not fine, because that will clock us super, super fast. That also means that they don't have a blocker, and it means Bloodbraid Elf into Lightning Helix off the top is lethal again. So, we're giving ourselves the best lines we have, because now they don't have blockers, they don't have Brazen Borrower up, and they don't have Crack of Food up. Bonecrusher Giant. We're gonna cast Stomp, target them. And then cast Bonecrusher Giant. And this is kind of a good one to draw because if they Brazen Borrower this one, that's kind of fine. The problem is they have Oko gaining them 3 life every turn. This is going to be an uphill battle if we manage to get it. Show me Bloodbraid Elf. Just the draw step we've hoped to have. No. Aggro deck. Lands. So many lands. Alright, well, we're attacking them for lethal, so they will be blocking. And we're passing. I guess we play out this land to try and thin. I'm not even sure if we're thinning at this point. I think we have 1 more forest in the deck. Maybe another Stomping Ground. Yeah, I gave you your 6 life, opponent. Alright, 3 life, and that seems pretty good. We're trying our best. Can you believe we actually had our opponent at 3 at one point? Alright, we're going to fetch string our upkeep to thin. Grab the forest we were talking about. Draw. We fetch to thin, opponent. We fetch to thin. Alright, let's see what... I don't think this gets super better for us post-board, but we'll see what we can do. Worship, obviously, against a deck with multiple Brazen Borrowers, not that great. In fact, most of these cards probably are not that great. Oko seems insane, though. I guess oofs, just so that they can't eat food. Is that really what? Is this the world we're living in? Is that I'm making sideboard card decisions depending on if my opponent can eat food or not? I think it might be. Cindervines at least pings them. See, it's hard, once again, any of these things that we bring in, they can bounce now with the addition of Brazen Borrower. It's Echoing Truth that decks that need a clock can also play. Imagine if Echoing Truth also killed your opponent. So a little unfortunate we didn't draw one of our Bloodbraid Elves. We tried to hope our hardest, but we didn't quite get there. See what we can do for game 2. All the lands. No. Mulligan. I mean, this hand is not super stellar. We're going to keep it. Bottom the forest. And cast Noblehark. So our plan is Noblehark into Voice of Resurgence, into Cindervines, Pather Dude. Let's go. Hopefully that's enough pressure with just enough disruption to get us through. All right, let's see what they're doing. Bossies. Fatal push. Alright, that's fine. So we don't get to get a tap land with this, but we do get to fetch shock. So fetch shock. Stomping ground. I still think we get voice of resurgence down. Because with voice of resurgence down, spells on our turn become much worse. A lot of the removal becomes much worse. There's actually a card that's picked up in play in Legacy that I think is standard legal right now. It might have been just rotated. That is a 2/1 with flash. And whenever you cast a spell during your opponent's turn, it gets a 1/1 count. I believe it also has flying. It's a pretty reasonable clock. Unfortunately, if our opponents are keeping up this pace of play, we will not be able to finish this league before I have to head to work. Looks like we're being inquisitioned. Let's just go ahead and get in there for 2, and then we get to kind of show off the power. Oh, sorry about that. My normal wake-up alarm. Let's go ahead and hit him for 2. And then, while not super powerful, we're gonna... Stomp is an instant. We're gonna wait. I thought Stomp was a sorcery. Stomp being an instant is way better. So the opponent just doesn't have an Oko. I imagine the opponent's probably a multiple Oko deck. Kind of an interesting concept, though. Yep. Waddle. Yep. That's fine. See if it drew him into a fatal push. Doesn't look like it. Alright. Let's go ahead and squish that. Squish the cat. So they can actually push their own thing in response to fizzle that, but I don't, once again, I don't think they had push based on their play pattern. We're going to fetch here. Shock. Cast Bonecrusher Giant. That way, if the opponent wants to do anything, like kill our void, I'm pretty sure our opponent's not going to do anything on our turn when we have this Voice of Resurgence. And if our opponent targets this Bonecrusher, he does do 2 damage. I have no idea what that spell just was because it flashed by. It is Drown in the Lock. Okay. So this feels like a Drown in the Lock plus a Brazen Borrower to kill the token. Also, I kind of want to cast both sides of this Bonecrusher to try and get the value out of it. So I think they're bouncing our 2/2 here. Nope. Sweet. Alright, well them going to 6 is insane for us. Because if they ever fetch, we technically have them dead with the fetch on the stack. And if they ever target this Bonecrusher Giant, we can put lethal damage and leave the trigger on the stack. During the end step, I'm gonna try and stomp them. I imagine this gets countered. If not, we're in a very good position. Alright, well, now we only have to get in for one. So, oh, and we do the Helix. We actually have lethal multiple ways now. Petty theft, that's fine. So, still going to combat. Alright, bolt you. Alright. We got a game. We won a game. Yeah! Alright, is there anything we want to change about how we played our game based on how that went? I actually want to take out this choke. There's Quasali Pride Mage. This is another threat. If I still have choke in my deck, that's also fine. But ideally, these Brazen Borrowers don't cause me as much trouble. I'm going to keep this. The hand that puts a 3-3 into play into another 3-3 into play. The deck has tons of removal and interaction, but we're going to do what we can. Good news is we're a little bit resistant to a Thoughtseize because they can't take our 1-drop. Uh-oh, looks like they're going to be playing a Ninja on 2, though. See if we can just draw a bolt off the top. This is a little awkward because I think I still lead on the kitty cat. 1-1 kitty cat. It is a 1-1. Alright, so the opponent's probably going to ninjutsu so that they can get their cards flowing. Yep. Which is good because we have this Helix. We get to stop the cards flowing almost immediately. Although it does set us back a few turns in development, I don't think we can let them untap with that. And yes, I realized that I had to get this instead of Sacred Foundry, which means that this is only a 2-2 instead of a 3-3. Drawing Voice there was also pretty reasonable, though, because that limits, once again, what they can do on our turn. Probably taking away a Helix here so that their Fairy Seer survives. Oh, okay. Alright, let's see what we draw. Path to Exile. Alright, let's go ahead and do this then. I have a feeling they will tap out if they feel like we didn't draw a removal spell. I'm hoping they go in on another Ninja, and then we get to kind of get them with having double removal spell. Ideally, we draw a fetch land, and then we get to go Bloodbraid Elf, have 2 3/3 Wild Nacatls, and go from there. Alright, going to Inquisition us, which they're going to see that we have picked up a Path to Exile in addition to Helix. So we're definitely putting our opponent into the Bonecrusher lock. We just need to draw a Bonecrusher. Opponent leaving back their 1-1 blocker. Draw another small cat. I want a small cat. I think I'm down trying to draw a fetch land here. Didn't get there. Alright. Let's get in there for 4, and then we'll play our kitty cat post-combat. Right, another Bloodbraid Elf there feels pretty bad. This Assassin's Trophy, we're pretty happy about things, but I'm pretty sure it's Brazen Borrower. Drawing a lock works too. Take 2, opponent. Alright, here's another small cat. Wish they weren't so small. Wish I wish they were big cats. Alright, opponent's gonna go ahead and do the ninja thing. Yep. Alright, we take 2, they draw a card. 4 cards in hand, of which 1 is a Fairy Seer. Let's see if they play Fairy Seer and or their land drop. If they miss their land drop, there's a very non-zero chance that I'm pathing this right here. That thing. I think they realized that. That's why they played out their 1/1 as well. Alright. Fetch land? I'm going to attack with both these. They're going to take 2. I actually think I play out the Cinder Vines. Now every spell they cast is going to hit them for 1. Even if they just want to bounce the Cinder Vines, it'll put them to 4, which is lethal on board with our current cats. Alright, they're leaving back their guy to block. Yeah. That's a good situation for us. Means any fetch land really punishes this line. Assassin's Trophy. Alright, our turn. We drew the fetch land, opponent. We're gonna get in there for 2. Alright, opponent, you have to have removal spell plus... I guess if you just have Stifle for our fetch, that's pretty miserable for us. So if you have Stifle... Not. Alright, so we need white. We don't need to use the mana this turn. So we'll go ahead and grab... Sacred Foundry, tapped. Alright, our cats are now 3/3s. It's gonna Fatal Push the other kitty cat. That's fine. Having double Bloodbraid Elf in hand means we're just kind of drawing to a land next turn. And that Cindervine's pinging them for 1. Definitely not. Putting them closer to dead. So let's see if they go to 3. They are with a red up. Opponent, much bigger balls than I have, that's for sure. Yeah, don't play around what you can't beat, right? Targeting the kitty cat. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, we're going to path our own kitty cat here. It makes it so that Petty Theft doesn't resolve, and therefore they don't get a Brazen Borrower. And then we have access to Bloodbraid Elf next turn. So I like this line a lot, actually. Alright, opponent. You're at 3. Alright, let's see if the opponent's bouncing Cinder Vines again. Tapping, untapping, tapping again. Oko. Alright, they'll take 1 for that. And then they die to our Bloodbraid Elf. Woohoo! Yeah, we won the match. We won a match. Alright, wait. I gotta check the current time. Unfortunately, guys, it looks like this is going to have to be a 2-parter. So I thank you very much for everyone watching out there. If you'd like, you can follow this on YouTube. The YouTube link is directly above me. And also, I will be streaming this tonight at about 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Alex with Lucksack Games, telling you to have an awesome day.